Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today I am basically responding to what Williams Gaming has done, aka Sam, on his issues with the F1 game community on YouTube. I'm also going to be bringing ahead my opinions on this, and I'm officially going to be calling out Codemasters for basically screwing up F1 2018, screwing content creators, and screwing the hype of the game, which was deserved, and they've just made a complete mess of it, and I'm really angry with them. And now it's time to not hold back. I'm not holding anything behind. I'm going to just talk about it, and whether it does well or it doesn't, I don't really matter, because at least finally I can get my opinions off. So first of all, I'm just going to quickly explain what Sam has done here. So, in this video, Sam has gone ahead and he's spoken about the issues with the F1 game community on YouTube. Now, in this video, basically what he's explaining is that Codemasters gave the game to F1 YouTubers and also some game review sites as well a week early to the release of F1 2018 with a full embargo that was at least lifted. Now, if you're unsure of what an embargo is, it's basically like a form of a contract so that you can't specifically upload any of it until the specific date. And then as soon as a part of that lifts, you can upload specific bits to the point where you can upload whatever you want. Now, in this specific scenario, F1 2018 was released to YouTubers and game developers, or reviewers should I say, a week earlier to the release of F1 2018. They were allowed to then upload absolutely everything to the point where the audiences would obviously go ahead and watch those specific channels because they've got access to it. No one else does. So when they see it, they upload to them. When the game then comes out for everybody else and other content creators like myself, like Sam, like others as well, we take a massive hit on this because we can't gather those audiences back in because they're already fully interacted in another career mode. Now, sure, if you pick a team that the audiences will think, oh, he's actually picked this team, I kind of want to go and see this, they may go that way. But it's really difficult to do so, especially when you're uploading your first episode and the others are halfway through season 1, maybe even starting season 2. It's a bit of a joke on how that actually pans out in the end, and you can't gather the audiences back. Now, Sam is stating in this video that motivation to make videos, and he's been speaking to me a lot. Me and Sam have been speaking loads. Williams and I, we've been speaking loads. We really just don't have motivation to make videos, and it's really upsetting for the pair of us because YouTube is, well, in Sam's case, he can't even make money off YouTube anyway. Because in terms of the YouTube guidelines, if you don't have 1,000 subscribers, you can't earn anything off it. So whilst I'm making this video, get Sam to 1,000 subscribers so he actually, gets some money. And just drop Sam a sub because he deserves them at the end of the day. Head over to his channel, drop a sub, go ahead, help the smaller channels out. Just give them the support and give them the extra motivation that they need. Because when it comes to being a small YouTube channel, it's not easy to grow. I know the feeling because I was obviously everyone starts at zero and everyone gets up somehow. What makes me so angry is when people gather the fame in this scenario when they've got access to it early and no one else can try and compete and make a better video than them because they don't have the opportunity to. That's where the problem lies. And for me, it signals a full sense of segregation on Codemasters' behalf, and I'll explain more about that. So his video is 7 minutes 49 long. Mine's going to be a lot more than that. But here you can see I stated in the comment section, I will elaborate further with this on Monday. And again, you can see here, people are starting to actually respond to this, and a lot of people are actually in the same boat as him. Apart from this guy who decides to complain because he's only got 300 subs. And if you've got 300 subs, it doesn't matter how many you have. It all depends on how you watch a video. And there are people out there, there's probably people out there that have less subs than even I do, but are probably more entertaining in a different way. So that's a completely irrelevant point. And he doesn't even have 300 subs. He has 299, but he won't have 299 after this video. He'll have over 1,000 because we'll make it happen. But anyway, this video, and he's got a lot of support for it. In terms of how his videos go down, 377 views, that's a lot for Sam for 299 subscribers. He's got more views than subscribers. There you're doing well. Now again, 32 likes, 2 dislikes. You can tell that there's a good ratio on this, and the comment section agrees with this, with people agreeing with him. There's people that are saying, you know, what's the point in making release dates when everyone is in the same boat? And again, this is people agreeing with everything that he has to say. And it's now time to spread the words. Sam is the first person to speak up about this, and he's doing this perfectly. If no one else speaks up about this, Codemasters don't realize that they're doing stuff wrong, and they've completely ruined the advertisement. And now I'm stepping up to the plate. Now, there are going to be people in this video, they will agree with my points completely. There's going to be some that agree and also disagree at the same time. And there's going to be those that will completely disagree. And that's fine. As long as you respect my opinions and how I'm stating this, if your opinion is the complete opposite, as long as you respect my opinion, I have full respect for your opinion. I'm not going to argue against you because everyone has their own rights to say how they personally feel about a topic. And at the end of the day, no one in the world is ever going to have the correct statement to anything that they say, unless it's like a full truth fact, like this controller is white, even though some people might think of it as a different color. Nothing will ever become 100% correct. Everyone will be different, and it's good that you can express yourself as being different. And this is why I'm putting this out there. I am feeling good for myself that I am speaking it different. If you completely disagree with my point, as long as you can say to yourself, I completely disagree with everything that Foxy Dude has said. However, I respect that he's bringing his opinion to the table, and I respect that I can now forward my opinion on how I think that's different. That's where it goes. Now, he's saying that there's loss of motivation and that F1 has basically screwed over. And it's the same with my channel as well. In terms of the videos overall, you can see here that overall, let's have a look. I mean, the challenges I've now realized that my challenges on my channel, they haven't changed in terms of the viewership. Driving backwards probably has dropped down, and that's because it's just a repeat of last year, but it's still really, really fun to make. However, just the normal standard challenges like dry tires, wet track, I've only just realized, 8,400, how slow is 0% AI, back up 23,000 views. I know where my channel lies, but at the end of the day, career mode is also a massive, massive flop. And again, you can see, like, Sam was pointing this out, like, 4 days ago, 894 views. Now, he was basically stating that for a YouTuber with 14,400 subscribers, to not even get past 1,000 views is really poor. And he said that in a no offensive way, but it's true. It's really poor. And I feel that hits so much that I think to myself, what's the point in making a video? And you may think to yourselves, oh yeah, well, you've clearly just noted, your challenges do well, why are you complaining? But when you spend so much time making a video and then things don't go well, it really does hit someone's confidence boost right down to the floor very, very quickly. You don't understand that, especially for someone like myself who has mental health issues. It takes it to a whole nother level, even lower than what you think. There are some people that are perfectly healthy in a mental state, but when a video does bad or a specific set of videos are doing bad, that motivation then drops down to the floor. But then when a mental health issue comes into it, like me, when I've got loads of them, it drops it to a point where you just have really, really negative thoughts. And I just think to myself now, what's the point in me spending so long making career mode videos when, in my mind, no one cares about them? Like, it's completely wrong for me to think of it that way, because I still get positive responses on it, and I still get people saying, when is the next career mode video coming out? But why do I need to think of it that way when all my mind is tailored to is, what's the point in making this video in the first place? And that's why I've really had serious doubts about where do I go with this channel. And I've made community posts in the past stating, where do I go from here? I'm trying to think where it was now. No, here it is. I literally stated in this video, in this community post, if you don't know, you can go over to people's community pages and you can see all these posts that I do. It's like Twitter, basically, same thing. But again, I specifically stated, seeing early access, it's killed the hype and it's left me and probably others on the back foot as well. And I'm specifically trying to get advice because at this point, I don't really know where I go forward with this. Like, what do I do to make this channel better? And it sucks that way. It really does. And it's not good for F1 in general to be put this way. And now I'm going to start to talk about this away from the YouTube scene, and now I'm going to bring in the scene from another point. But before I do that, people say, look at these career mode videos, for an example, going back onto them. These videos, 20 minutes, roughly, if they're a very entertaining one, 27 minutes, something like that. Now, this is why motivation kills the most. Now, I can't even see my capture screen, so right. On here right now, I have got my Elgato software open. This is where I create all of my videos, and I go ahead and go from there. Now, obviously, this is the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, including specific replay cameras, and also the race itself is 26 minutes long. So no matter what, that is how long the video is going to be. Scroll it down to a specific point in the career mode videos. You can see here, for example, career mode part 13. Now this video is slightly edited, so I've edited the qualifying and I don't believe I've edited the race. I'm not going to go ahead and show part of the race because it's probably going to spoil it, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest, at this point. This is an hour and 15 minutes, and you can see here that you've got to go through, you've got to tailor through everything, and you need to know where you stand with it. Let's go to the Singapore Grand Prix. This took an hour and 53 minutes to record. This is qualifying. I believe this is also the practice programs as well. So I actually went ahead and included the practice programs because in Singapore a lot of stuff happened anyway, and this is going to be a tough video to edit. This whole recording, from watching the first cutscene all the way to the final bit of the video where I simply click next weekend and stop recording, it's taken me an hour and 53 minutes, 42 seconds to record the cutscene, the practice, the qualifying, the race, which is 50% races, the race replays. That's an hour and 53 minutes, 42 seconds. You spend the time then going through and editing that video down. It's going to take you probably about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Put that into the editing software, put the replay cameras in front of the actual video itself to sort of make the broadcasting shots look better. Adding in the post commentary. If you do it live com, it's going to be easier in terms of the editing, but I post com, so that means then of course that's another, let's say 20 minutes, depending on how long the overall video is of me recording it. Then I've got to render that video, then I've got to upload that video. Now rendering and uploading, I don't have to be there for that, but that entire video process, that can take 6, maybe 7 hours to do in total, depending on how fast things go for you and how much you have to actually edit out of that 1 hour and 53 minutes of recording. And then it thinks to yourself, what's the actual point in me doing that? Driving backwards at Germany. This video in total probably took me about, let's say in terms of recording, was about 28 minutes, maybe about 32 minutes to record. Then editing it down to 16 minutes, you've then, obviously, that's already just half an hour. Cutting that down, you're probably looking about 20 minutes to do so. Then you've got to, render it and upload it. You don't have to post-commentate anything. That takes probably about an hour and a half to do. And from there, that gets more views, so you think, well, what's the point in making so many career mode videos when it just doesn't work like that? And for me, I have a second channel, it's right here, FoxyDo Plays. I haven't uploaded on it in a long time, because I just haven't had the time to. But I think to myself, why not just go and play other games? Why don't I just do something different? And that's where I'm tailored to. And for me, it's just better. For me, I'm going to kickstart this channel again. I really want to, and I'm going to push it further maybe than my main channel, because, well, I mean, I'm going to push this main channel as hard as I possibly can, because you may be able to bring me down, but you certainly won't be able to push me all the way to stopping this. But I'm going to keep pushing this channel, but I always think, why don't I just play the games on this channel? And now it's time to move away from just the YouTube side of it in general and look at it at a perspective in terms of just a regular consumer. So when Codemasters obviously released this to the other people, automatically in your mind, we're thinking to ourselves, you have been segregated from Codemasters. So Codemasters have gone ahead. I don't have a copy of F1 2018 because I've got it on a disc, so I don't have anything. So we'll use my TV remote. They've got a copy of F1 2018. They give it over to the bigger YouTubers and to some game publishers that, review games. And they go ahead and they say, right, here's the game, you can do whatever you want with it. Automatically then, you are segregated into a different class of person to those people. If you are not a big YouTuber, if you're not someone that can provide a lot of press for F1 games, you are in fact irrelevant to Codemasters' development program. And that's how I personally feel it is, and that's why I'm stating it right now. I could be completely wrong, sure, but this is how I'm feeling, and this is how I'm stating it. You, therefore, are irrelevant, and you have lost pretty much equal rights to actual other people. Compared to, say, any other popular YouTuber, like PewDiePie, like Arava, Tim McMardick, now we're talking F1 YouTubers. Where are that? You have not got as many rights as them now, is it? Just because they're extremely famous in every single way, in terms of their celebrity status, and we're talking the top YouTubers, even celebrities out there as well, everyone is still a human being. everyone still has the same rights, and no one is an upper class or above another human in the world. If it's ever stated like that, and it will always be like that, there are people that will class themselves as bigger up compared to other humans. They are wrong. 100% they are wrong, and they don't know what they're talking about. You are, in effect, now a lower class status to other people that get the game earlier because they feel they can get more press out of it, more hype out of it. But what they've done is they've segregated you from others and stated you are not as important because you won't provide any big press for us. If we just give you a game now, what's the point in doing that? You are basically just a consumer that purchases the game, gives Codemasters the money, and you don't even get the first class experience of F1 2018 that you are looking for. What you are getting is F1 2018, which has been blasted all over the internet for you to get full credit of just not, well, you just know everything that's going to happen. You know exactly what's happening, and you don't get that experience. You don't get to go to the first cutscene and think, oh my god, that's what the interviewer Claire looks like. You don't think to yourself, that is a question, how do I go ahead and answer this? This is insane. You don't see a regulation change and you think, oh my god, I've got a regulation change now. And then you don't think to yourself, oh, next season, this is how it's going to be. Because Codemasters have advertised the game so badly that they've screwed all of that up for you. And it's just laughable. It really is laughable that they've actually thought this was the best way to go around it. Because come the videos itself, when they advertised it, they've done too much. They've over-advertised the game and they've spoiled the launch to the point where the hype is already dead. People know what's going to happen in career mode videos, so they don't get. And the biggest selling point for F1 is career mode. That is most important thing. Their career mode is as important as ever. And I'm going to click on this video because it's also an example of what's ahead. But this is a very, very, very important video overall. In career mode, that is their main selling point. Career mode is the biggest and most advanced thing that they've got. If that's not so good, then where do you go from there? But then, of course, if career mode has already been spoilt for you, it's not as enjoyable. And then you start to think of other aspects of F1. And then you look at F1 2018 Online, which is what I'm showing you right now. Codemasters, I don't even think that when anyone reviewed this game, in terms of giving them these 5-star reviews, these 10 out or 9 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, I don't think anyone was eligible to play F1 2018 Online. Because it is no way ready for a game to be made in any way, shape or form. Because, I mean, look at that. There's cars that are on top of each other. And it's to the point where I can just make a video and mock F1 Online. And I've even stated it as a challenge. Because it's not even normal. I mean, why is this car now going to flip in a second? That's F1 Online for you. To me, this is a beta build gone wrong. This is not an F1 2018 game right. This is an F1 2018 online beta gone horribly wrong. Career mode is fine. There's not a lot wrong with it. There's still some stuff that needs changing. Time trial is just time trial. Events, again, just events. Online, though, is probably at best pre-alpha. And if you don't know how a game development works, I am a games designer, so it works like this. You've got initial prototypes. So you make a game, you basically pan out a game. So Formula 1, we're going to make a Formula 1 game. So you need to think of the environment settings. You need to think of the time frame. Which time zone are you going? Are you going to go retrofuturism? Are you going to go futuristic, realistic, cartoonistic? You need to think of all these things. Cartoonistic isn't even a word, but anyway. You need to think of all those things. You've got to think of the designs. You've then got to think of the coloration. You've then got to think of everything that you're going to put into it. The grandstands, the flags, the signboards, everything like that. You've then got to build the tracks. You've got to build these cars. You've got to, use the modeling features. You've then got to use the animation. You've then got to use the sound. You've got to use a lot of things. And the designers and the developers in the gaming industry work with so many different teams to build this. A pre-alpha stage then is the very first stage. This is where you get the chance to test the game, have a little look, and it's going to be very, very bad. The graphics won't be up to full standard. It's basically just a prototype. Then you go into the alpha stage, slightly more advanced than pre-alpha, but still at a very early build. Then you go into the beta build. The beta build is going to be one of the best work-in-progress builds that you'll see. And you'll see it in any other games out there. In fact, speaking of beta, just go to Battlefield 5 beta, the ones that I'm currently working on or that they're playing right now, and it expires tomorrow. You go ahead and you play this beta. Now, in the Battlefield 5 beta, they have done this perfectly for advertisement. I'm playing Battlefield 5 right now. Is that a spoiler? No, it doesn't ruin the hype of the game being launched, because Battlefield 5 add restrictions, which is critical to this game. Now, there are some that, and F1 just didn't do that. In Battlefield 5, I am currently playing the new Ground Operations game mode in this video that I've uploaded here. Now, in this video, what they've allowed is Ground Operations. You can play day 1 and day 2 of Ground Operations. There's 3 days in total, but they restrict you. And then in Conquest, you get to go ahead and play 2 maps of Conquest. There's about 9 in total, only 2. But in that, you can play just the 2 maps of Conquest, and in Ground Operations, you have 1 map to play. Right away, there is a full-on restriction of what you can play. You can't play everything, and it's not going to be the final build. There's going to be changes, there's going to be weapon changes, there's going to be plane adjustments, there's going to be adjustments to literally everything in the game. This beta that you're seeing right now, in terms of game development, is called playback testing. But this is an open public playback test. They will go ahead and release part of the game, not the full thing, for the public to play, like we are now. They will then go ahead and they will gather all the feedback from what the public has stated. So for example, this sniper, public may be saying that it's too weak or the bullet drop off is not right. Therefore, as soon as the beta is complete, they can go ahead and they can say, right, we have now got all this feedback from our public test, let's go ahead and move on from there. Codemasters have a private test. They don't let any information sneak out about their game before the game is released. And they've completely screwed that up as well. In the private beta, whenever you do it, you have to register in order to be eligible to play. In this scenario, what they haven't really done is they just haven't taken any feedback on board. They've taken the feedback for single player on board. Codemasters have done, and while listening to that, they've gone ahead and stated, we want interviews, brought in interviews. Classic cards, we want classic cards. But again, invitational events are pointless because they don't do anything, and even normal classic races aren't enjoyable in their own respect. But online, they don't listen about online. They don't listen to the bugs. They don't listen to the features that we want to see. And when F1 is trying to push esports Formula 1 content out the way, you think of online like you've seen now. You think, well, what's the point in that? And when people have been given access to the game, they've got quarters to show everything. If they were given access to the game but they were restricted like a beta build so that they could only play Grand Prix mode and time trial, they weren't allowed the classic cars but they were allowed the modern cars, you've got a fair restriction and nothing is fully given away. So people can still have the experience of online. They can still witness what that will be like for the first time. You won't want to know about it, but you'll still get the choice of it. And then also, they'll have the experience of career mode. They'll know exactly what career mode is all about. They'll have that first-hand experience, which is the biggest thing for a game launch. If you know what happens when someone like me goes ahead and says, how was F1 2018 career mode? I can simply just say, oh, I don't really know. It wasn't really that important because everyone just uploaded it earlier. And it's not like that. You should be able to say, oh, when I first played career mode, it was amazing. I saw these cutscenes, I saw these regulation changes, I saw so much going on, and I was so happy with it. But then for like someone that's watched a million gameplays of it because they've been uploaded by the YouTubers because apparently they've got an upper class to everybody else, it's, oh, well, you know, I just saw, you know, this guy upload all these videos, so when I bought the game and I played it, I was so happy to play it, and then when I started playing it, I knew everything that was going to happen. It's like a spoiler. Again, it's wrong. And for me, Codemasters have developed the game in the wrong stance. Online is still broken anyway, and I'm going to do a video later in the line of everything that I felt was good about F1 2018 and everything that was wrong. This is in the biggest wrong, though, possible, and it needed to be put into its own category. In terms of finalising it, F1 2018 is fun, it's good, it's enjoyable, but they have completely ruined the hype by giving the full game access to people a week early. That means that when the game was still it wasn't even out yet, Codemasters was still launching trailers in accolades to their game, stating, look, we've got this, it's in 3 days, and they were tweeting it as well. They were saying, look, we've got F1, 3 days time, who's hyped? No one is, because we've already seen the whole game, so why should we be excited for a massive game launch when we've seen it all? Like, it's the same with Battlefield 5 that I'm just showing right now on the screen. If I was given the full access to this game and I played the entire campaign, war stories, and I had every single map available to myself, and I uploaded all of it, where's the massive hype for a massive title? You don't have that hype. You then automatically lose out. People don't find the enjoyment anymore. They'll just feel spoiled and they'll feel lackluster. And the launch of a game is what makes or breaks a game. It's very, very critical that you get it right. If you get it wrong, you really are in a world of trouble. Take Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the example on this one. That launch was horrific. They really got that wrong. They've rectified their problems, but the game is still known as a troll because it really was a horrific launch. And it's the same for F1. The game may be good, in parts, but they've ruined the launch by doing wrong advertising. The development diaries that they released were perfect. They specifically stated things that they were putting into F1. But the way that they did some live streams and stuff, they even did live streams of career mode practice programs. They did live stream of the regulation change. They did a live stream of the new season after the regulation change had been taken into place. You've ruined what can happen when a regulation change happens. You've ruined what a regulation change will feel like for the audience for the first time. They just haven't fully understood what to do for a game launch, and it's hurt YouTubers badly. It's really demotivated YouTubers to stop making videos, and it's automatically put you as an audience in a second-class variant to others because they've given the game to others and they don't feel you're as important. You're just a consumer, and even though you're probably helping as much by giving as much feedback of the game as possible, you don't become relevant. I mean, YouTubers and other esports racers, their faces have been scanned because they were invited to Codemasters, but you may have put so much time and effort into the game and provided so much feedback on social media that they may have listened to, but you won't get as recognized because you're in a class irrelevant to them. So this is my message to Codemasters. Your advertisement is terrible. You need to seriously figure out how to go ahead and do it properly. And overall for the game, I wish you the very best. I will still be posting F1 2018 gameplay throughout the entirety of the game. I will still be promoting F1 2019 when trailers come out. And from there, I will also be going ahead and I'm going to be spending a hell of a lot of time on my second channel because I want to boost that one up and get motivation. And that's the biggest problem. Motivation has dropped. F1 has advertised this wrong. We are not a second class to anyone else. We are the same as anybody else. If you're going to create a game and you're going to state a release date, every single person, no matter how different a person may be to another, will play the game on the day that it is released. Not when these guys get it and then you guys get it afterwards. There is a date, you then play it. If you want to provide some form of advertisement, don't over-advertise it. Make sure that you at least allow the consumer when buying the game to feel like they're shocked about an event that happens. Give them that emotion that they never had because of how the advertisement was. And that is pretty much it. Rant done and dusted. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.